And also is the formless states. I think the first term is, can you change the name, okay? Infinite space. Okay, la. Infinite space, it's a word. Infinite space. That's the others is like, okay. For example, during the meditations, and there are many different type of the meditations, okay? Meditations, for example, like clearly seeing, it means it's like any kind of virtues, and calm and abiding, calm abiding. And for example, if you are like maintain the virtue of the compassion, maybe it's like we can take some more examples. Oh, I don't want to kill sentient beings. If I kill, it is non-virtue. And then you like maintain in this state, I don't want to kill. It's through this analyze, it's like focusedly to think about on that. That is also like a kind of karma body. Because what means your mind is calm, means this one thoughts preoccupied, like predominant. Now I understand. Predominant. Yes, predominant, like took over, like a power. I got this word. Predominated by these thoughts, it's like virtual thoughts, and then there's no other thoughts arrive. That means it's like calm because it's like there's no other turmoil thoughts, no thoughts. Only calm, concentrate on that, and then you are abiding in that statement. This is also is like kind of the virtue meditation of the virtues. And also it's like we can do same like this. When you visualize, like I'm often to say that this karma bodies or the visualizations. For example, you visualize like Rinpoche or Buddha or some deities, and specifically in the Tibetan Buddhism's point, or they like writing the Thangkas very much extraordinary ways, like almost unimaginable. For example, this Guru Rinpoche, it was as the human form, but it's like how you come to write like this. This is like really is like some unimaginable. For example, our Europeans like artists' perspective, it's just exaggerated. It is not exaggerated. It is the benefit for our minds. For example, when you are meditating on Guru Rinpoche's formulas like this, and that is like first time is basically Guru Rinpoche is extraordinary human beings. It is not like normal beings, it's enlightened. And then you have good one thought. And then you can to think the surround, everything is like related to the enlightenment. And then is of course wearing clothes, all this is a little bit extraordinary than that is ours, like go beyond our normal like kind of pictures. And then you think that, yes, because this is related to the enlightenment, related to the Buddha nature, related to the like kind of positive aspect. Then is what my meaning is to say, when you think like this person, there all the time is the atmosphere of the inner your mind is positive things. And that is like, therefore, it is like all the Buddhas like representing the Buddhist speech, mind is all the time to say, to write clean. This is for the helping for the beginner. When you are focused to meditate on the Buddha, for example, Guru Rinpoche's body itself is enlightenment. It realizes the compassion. Then it's become an extraordinary body. It is like a major, there's mark of the major and minors. Everything is there. This is really, it is enlightened body. This also make a kind of happy. And then you surround, there's something, is ideas coming, is a positive aspect. This is kind of changing process of our pattern, changing process of our like kind of habitual tendencies. That is very important. It is relative. And you know, in the slowly they talk about dissolution. Say dissolution is finally everything dissolved into the later. The later is dissolved into the like same as we say infinite space. And that moment is like kind of nothing you are holding good, positive or nothing. And then it's like also that is a calm abiding. This like kind of thoughts is predominated these ideas. Then your mind is very calm because your mind is not busy on the past. Your mind is not busy in the future. Your mind is not snatched at the present your some situations. And then is your mind is calm. But your mind is calm, but there is no dullness. There is no agitations. That is the very important. Dullness means like someone's meditating, sleepy. Even though sometimes they make big natural bombing, but they can't hear. This is not very good meditation, you know. And also it's like agitations. Says you are really meditation position of body, speech looks like nice. The mind is thinking beer, chocolate, love story, and guitar music, so on, so on. Then it's agitation. It's not very good. But mind, the first time is like we need one post. Do you understand? Post. Stick. Post is like kind of stick. And then there is one rope. And rope is the mindfulness or the pit instructions and like this. Is your rope to use to catch the wild horse or the monkeys. And first time to tidy up this post of your visualizations. Maybe, for example, some Hanayana way, sometimes they're thinking about flower, sometimes they're thinking about wall, sometimes thinking about like small things later, and sometimes in the space. It's like this kind of supporter, like a kind of the first times like establishing your mind to settle into your home of the mind. And that is very, very important. And I want to go back to say your visualizations. And also sometimes we can to see the refuge tree and Bodhisattva, like it's a Guru Yoga's tree and Vajrasavas, those deities. You should to visualize. Very, very important. And don't think about this is very strange, it's really Tibetan, this kind of creative. Don't think about it. You know, it is like this is a reality. It was a human being. It's like same as ours. Become the enlightenment aspect is like this. Then you can just surround landscape, trees, lake, rock, whatever this is surrounded attributes are very much spacious. Oh yes, spacious. It's because of the pure land, because it's the extraordinary. It's the extraordinary positive, because the result by the compassion, by the virtues. It is not a result like this kind of through the killing, through the stealing, through the sexual misconduct, like something is that it's not. And also it's like when you abide the statues, tonkas, good things, more expensive, very good for your support, your meditations. When you look at the statues, for example, one of my masters, great master, he says, first you visualize, first time you look at the pictures, you look at picture, again and again, look at picture, and again, and then certainly you take the picture, and then you have idea of inside your picture or not. It's like a kind of when you become the boyfriend and girlfriend, sorry to say it, you know, you are like kissing, hugging, touching, look, and then you can see all this boy or girl's face, body, mood, everything. Then even if this boy or girl is not here, you have very clearly your meditation on that. That is not very good, but this is like this, yes? And then it's like sometimes, you know, certainly that moment, you know, many boys and girls, that moment, if you are like something happened, sorry to say, they died, you know, then it's a continue holding, even we are after the die, is thinking about this. You know, there's one filmmaker, he made like his, in the after died, He's lost his 2 children and himself, he died. And then he loved so much his family and particularly wife. And then it's like he become a ghost, you know. But this is like really extraordinary to, like kind of Pete instruction of the Bardo, really. This kind of, you know, first time you look at the pictures again and again. This is my meditations. In the relative, I'm telling you relative. And also I'm saying the good things, for example, when you look at the Tonkas, maybe the architects, a little bit something, or the artists, something wrong. Then you think, maybe there's something enlightened problems or not. Or maybe it's like your water is not very good, or the landscape, pure land has something problem, that natural disaster there. This kind of idea, our mind is really, I'm telling you, it's inconceivable, difficult to believe. Then it is support you all the time, showing good things. For example, if you follow some great masters, first times they may be showing you for hours very nice aspect, and the front of hours. Many masters told to me, is first for the beginner student, you should to show your behaviors, good things, because they are expecting you are superior for beginner. Everything is so marvelous. But this is like dualistic perspective and so. And then also Tonka statues. And slowly you understand more and more to your mind's approach to the true nature realities. True nature realities, the equanimity of the samsara and nirvana. It doesn't matter you any kind of like to look the things, you never have bad imagine, you know. In this case, maybe in the certain point, maybe you don't need any tonkas, any statues, any, and your mind inside color. But I want to go back up. And then you look again and again. Then you're inside these pictures, and then it's without tonka nothing. You are made your eyes open, everything's your the 5 faculties is opened, but in your mind, the wisdom eye to see that clearly this picture. And then these pictures are sometimes moving, sometimes talking, sometimes jumping, dancing. Inside the more and more clarity is coming into your mind. Then you already connect to the mind. And then it's sometimes through this one, it is like there is like, of course, it's 4 appearances. This is maybe, I don't know, but there's 4 appearances. And then it's certainly through your mind, in the front of the space, natural space, automatically these pictures shine, with not drawing tokas, but inner pictures shine outside. And then it's like in some texts, there's talking about bindus, you know, circles, rainbows. And then it's coming inside, and then you looks like talking, you know, it's like to face. And also through these meditations, many in the sculpture say, you can to visit Buddha, you can to visit Buddha's field, you can to receive something, transmission. This is the process. This is our like kind of meditation process or the result. And therefore, it's the beginning is really to look, maybe to have good the image of the tonka, or the statues is to have good. Maybe it's like how much we spend useless things. Maybe to spend a little very good night. And also make a joke, okay? Maybe in the future, if we have the power, I want to change Jesus Christ statue. You know, it is like to make nice like statues. He is a great Bodhisattva, and of course he took all the sentient beings suffer. This is obvious, but when we are looking at it's a little bit. Of course, his biography and his to think is extraordinary. This we know the very well. But when you look at his statues, it's like immediately blood and something horrible. Then our mind is, you know, thinking different way. And in this perspective, it is like this. For example, Buddha, when he became enlightened man, after the 6 years, he's not handsome. Through this ascetic way, he's become. And that is like certainly he received from one lady rice and with milk and he's become enormous body, more handsome than the before and golden skin. why he is this kind of demonstrating. He don't need to show like this. Some in the Buddhist countries, they want to look at the Buddha's ascetic way, skin, skeletons. Oh, look, Buddhas take all the sentient beings suffering. But some in the perspective, they don't want to show us. Because at the moment, our mind is a very much childish mind. Our mind is very much like sensitive. Therefore, therefore we need to good imagine of Tonka and statues and stupa, and also visualize, try to give. Like for example, there is the aspect of the Guru Rinpoche. For example, in our refugee trees, there are so many like deities, and there's like 5 trees and tropolite. It's very important to detail God. Sometimes our mind has inconceivable thoughts, like a kind of big wave, like a kind of cloud. Normally we don't think about all these thoughts is making the habitual forming imprinting in our minds. Now we say it's mind. You should to concern this. Sometimes drawing, sometimes concern. There's a very big job. You to concern it like this. This is kind of meditation. Focus on more and more. This kind of beside that benefit is you reducing your this discursive thoughts. Richard, your mind is more preoccupied this. Then to like sometimes drawing, sometimes imitate, sometimes look again and again. Sometimes individual these deities, which kind of nose, which kind of head, which kind of clean cloth, which kind of heart they holding the attributes. All these things, it's kind of giving job in order to reduce our discursive thoughts. That is very benefit. Then slowly, mind is more free from the thoughts, more free from this, turmoil thoughts. It's like, for example, in the meditation books or the Campbell book says, beginning is our mind is like a waterfall. It's very fast. And then slowly again, and then it's a valley, rivers. And then slowly, that kind of ocean. And then finally, our mind is become like the mountain mirror. Any kind of air coming cannot to move. At that moment, and then maybe we don't need like this, you can direct to maintain the true nature of the realities. Maybe that moment you don't need any visualizations. And you'll completely be free from it. But in the relatively, it is very important. That is during the meditative consultations, try to visualize again and again to like this. This is one is very important. And others I want to say some things, I forgot it. Do you have to say something? If I remember, yes.
I have a question.